Asamiya native sencha. It's one of our Liquid Jade Sencha series. I call it Liquid Jade because it's basically everything that I look for in a sencha. It's traditional standards. It's grown from seed. It's not been fertilized. No pesticides have been used. It's all natural. It's all just the way a sencha used to grow, a regular tea bush used to grow in the past. And it's what I believe that the sages in the past would have drunk when this type of tea was available. So it's, to me, basically what an authentic sencha really should be. And so now let's have a look at the leaf. They are beautifully shaped needles. They are large but also include some smaller particles, and you can see that we find some twigs in there as well. Again, this is a tea that has come directly from the manufacturer in Shiga Prefecture in the Asamiya region. It has not been further filtered, it has not been blended. It is just from one single field, one single native seed-grown cultivar, and after the tea has been produced, it has not been further filtered out. Now I have been warming up this kyusu a little bit, so I'm first going to pour the water out, and then I will continue on with the brewing. Something I also like to do is, after I've heated the kyusu and insert the tea leaf, then before I add the hot water, I just like to let it sit in there so that through the heat of the kyusu, the leaf of the tea can warm up, and then we can smell the nice fragrance of this delicious tea. Okay, our water is boiled, so I'm now going to add the hot water to the kyusu, to the tea leaf. With these types of teas, I prefer to use hot water just right off the boil, because that brings out the best of the tea's aroma. Sencha generally is considered to require a colder water. You need to cool down the water until about 80 degrees. That is to suppress the bitterness. But these teas have not been fertilized. They've not been altered that much so that it produces a bitterness that is just not palatable. These teas, they are gentle, natural, and also the bitterness it's there, but it is a natural bitterness that we can enjoy, just like with any type of vegetables that has bitterness in them. So these teas I brew at a hotter, just right off the boil temperature. Of course, because I do that, I try not to use, I try not to steep it for too long, because that would just make it too intense. And steeping it for a shorter period will also allow me to make several steepings of the same leaf. Very nice. Have a look at the liquor. It's a very beautiful color. And this is the liquor here in the teacup. The first brew, I take a shorter infusion period that will release sufficient flavor, but also releases enough aroma, and it's the aroma that I generally do it for. And this is really divine. it's a bit grassy. It's green, but it's really fresh, and it's got an aroma that just lingers. It comes back after a while. It expands into the nose. It's really divine. So for the second brew, using the same leaf, I'm again doing the same thing, using hot water right off the boil, and again letting the tea steep. When I say not steeping too long, I generally mean between 20 and 40 seconds. 20 and 40 seconds is enough for the first brew. I would generally transition to around 40 seconds for the second brew, 60 seconds for the third brew, and then gradually, based on what you feel, how the tea is evolving through those several steepings, you might say I do a shorter brew for the third infusion, or for your fourth infusion, for example, say I'm just going to let it steep for several minutes so that it gives off all of its remaining flavor. So you can play with that, you can test that. But generally, for the first brew, I try to just gently open up the tea leaf, but not force it too much with the hot water. So I try to keep it at around 20 seconds to 40 seconds, and then to enjoy most of its delicious aroma in the first brew. And then for the second brew, I gradually go on a bit longer, so that it also gives up more flavor in addition to its delicious aroma. And that again allows you to enjoy the different stages of the tea, different flavors. It changes throughout the different brews, and so from one single batch of tea leaf, you can enjoy different flavors and aroma. So I'd say go and brew it and enjoy the tea.